In studio is, we all complain about what we've had to go through during this primary. In studio is County Executive Anthony Picente. You were getting it this week from all different angles, including the Dave Gordon angle, which to me tied certain people to Dave Gordon, which shocked me that they would allow themselves to be tied to this guy. Hey, congratulations.
Good morning. Thank you.
Are you surprised it was only 2-1? Does that bother you?
No, it doesn't. No.
Well, like
really
in Rome, we look at the numbers. Jackie Izzo wins 80 to 20%.
Yeah, but the difference was look.
I think it was their commercials. I'm pretty sure it was their commercials.
A lot of
it
had to be.
I'm just saying.
It had to be.
No, the reality
I was going to go there if you gave me a second.
I knew you were.
I would have got there.
The reality is, though, this was a massive attack on you, and Jackie didn't face that in Rome.
No, and look, he had name recognition to a point. He ran a year ago for countywide as a Republican, but. No, it didn't bother me at all. I mean, I 2-1 is a sound beating.
It sure is.
It's not, I'm proud of that, and I'm thrilled with it. I mean, and I know that there's some pockets out there that I can look at, when all is, when the dust settles and we see the exact numbers. But no, I'm very, very pleased with it. Is it 70% of the vote? That's really good.
Is it true you're taking names of all the people that voted for him, and you're going to find a way for retribution?
Well, no, retribution is in that number, and is in the fact that especially those that within those that claim to be Republicans, all of a sudden over the last 24 hours, literally, or before the election, the Jim Zeckas and the others of the world, who all of a sudden were Republican overnight 2 years ago, were.
And then suddenly pick up this.
We're Hillary Clinton,
and
all of a sudden
yes.
we're more conservative than Rush Limbaugh. I mean, it's like craziness. I mean,
but using many Rush Limbaugh quotes. That's my. It's either a Trump quote or a Rush Limbaugh quote that they use as if they've been conservatives their whole life.
But this, again, for everybody, look, I've been facing this a lot, especially the last several years, just based on my positions. But I've never changed, and that's the crazy thing. I mean, everybody looks at me, and especially the party accusations that come back and forth over especially like I said, the last several years. But I've been the same since I took office. Yeah. So, but it got it got amplified with some other electeds over the last 5 or 6 years. But Republican voters voted for me. So I mean, where's that fall in line? I mean, and I won overwhelmingly with in a Republican primary because he's never been tested, and this time he's going to have, and they send out, and I don't know if they, those that were behind it sent out just this crazy guy to say, oh, we'll just, send out somebody crazy and say anything he wants, and which he did, and.
Who's behind it, do you think?
Well, look, there's a lot of people behind it. I mean, there's clearly
some who came out,
some who came out, publicly with him. I mean, and stood with him, and some who did it in a sideways kind of way. But they were all. And look, everybody's guilty of it. I mean, and whether it was the former congresswoman, whether it was like I mentioned, Jim Zecka, Jim Brock, Tim Julian, all of them are and. My message is, look, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Yeah. We're not going to waste time. But, I will say and try and leave it at that, hopefully that, he does go away, more in more ways than just south.
Physically,
and really, I got to tell you, the last two statements, the statement last night, the one I saw.
You cheated. How did you do that?
Well, I mean, but I got to tell you, this is a really unhinged individual. I mean, it's almost scary that,
coming right back with the accusations.
Really, it's just enough's enough. I hope everybody stops covering him now, and we can get on with business. And
do you really think Tim? I see no evidence that Tim Julian was behind Dave Gordon.
Well, I don't think he was behind Dave Gordon so much as he was just. I mean, Tim has just been criticizing me from.
He has, and he might for whatever
for what reason I don't know.
He might end up on the legislature.
Yeah, I mean, he
could happen.
Well. You might, and that's fine. I mean, I got 22 others I deal with too. Yeah. So I mean that, but it's everybody that was going to run that didn't run, and then said they were going to run. Whether it was him thinking about county executive,
right.
whether it was whether it was Brock, whether it was the No Hospital guys, whether it was, and that whole group. I mean,
that,
so
by
I've
the
been
way,
facing
that
that
No
all.
Hospital with DeSantis losing another election. I don't think the No Hospital downtown Utica supported candidate has won a single election. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It could be because it's possible that they supported Bob DeSantis when he got elected.
Okay, I thought kind of Bob backed away from the hospital afterwards, but I could be wrong. So
I don't remember, but
Either
just
way.
Well, he voted against. I mean, he voted against the purchase. I mean, was the last week of the properties,
Yes.
which kind of sends the message that even though, I guess, and he kind of has not.
Well,
been,
his commercial said, "I still have serious questions about the."
and there's nothing wrong with having questions about
No,
things.
there isn't.
And
But there comes
policy.
a point where you see this, and we can talk about that. But it's at a point where isn't it better to let's figure out how this works?
Yeah.
Now than keep fighting something that I mean, what
It's
are
a done deal.
what are you accomplishing?
Right.
What's the accomplishment gonna be?
Well, the part of this battle is still the United Indian Nation deal, and how long's that?
Well,
been?
but I think that's still overplayed quite a bit. I mean, I think it gets stirred up by look. There's some people that are. It's like any other group. They're just never same people that are never going to appreciate or understand or accept the hospital, even when it is built downtown.
Right.
And the same goes for the Oneida Indian Nation deal. That people are just going to be upset at the way or at the previous years. I mean, some things don't go away, but I still think we're better off and we're moving forward, and the majority's in the numbers. I mean, let's
It is. I'd like to dig in, if I could, to how you dealt with this, because there are all sorts of strategies, and we kind of live in a life where we're constantly strategizing. How do we deflect this? What kind of image do we project here? It's a big public relations effort, and politicians, county executive deals with that. But you were faced with a head-on crazy attack. I mean, there could be a book could be written about this race. And initially, you might initially the thought is you ignore.
Right.
I mean, would be the advice. But then it got to that point where you had to come forward. What has that been? What kind of toll has that been on you and your family and on people who work with you?
Well, we talked about that a lot, obviously, throughout this, but even more so, last night a little bit after the victory and everything, and that very point that you make. So the key is, and you've been involved in politics and done political campaigns, and the conventional wisdom is ignore it, brush it off and move on. But the fact is it keeps coming back, and it keeps coming back in different. In a harder way, but at the end of the day, you got to go home and face your family, and then your family looks at you and saying, "Why aren't you fighting back?" And so it does draw that question as to at what point do we hit? And so tried to hit where we felt we needed to when it got really crazy, which it is. And the other point here is these were accusations that and some other outlets, and I won't, we're not going to mention anything today, and I'm done. We're moving on. But I will say some other outlets like, well, he never really denied it. I mean, yeah, I did. I denied it. I mean, but here was the other point. It's like
Sometimes
here's
denying.
but here's the point, though. Why am I denying something that didn't exist?
Right.
I mean, that never happened, and that there is no shred of proof of whatsoever with it, which. He even today in his last disjointed rant, says that he's still going to prove this. There's nothing to prove.
Well, why wouldn't you prove it before the primary? If you're
because
prove
there is
something?
nothing. Because
Right,
again, there
right.
is. But in my case and in my family's case, it's like, well, so how do we prove this?
Yeah.
You don't, because
No,
he's
I
accusing
agree,
something that nobody. Unless there's another person that is a part of it that's going to corroborate, which there isn't. I mean, it just got so crazy.
And
it
it's
was
one of
hard on
those-
my wife.
It
was
was gonna
hard on
ask,
my my family. I mean, you always use this. I mean, my parents have been gone and for a while, but you always the old Italian adage, it's a good thing your mother's not here. This would have killed her.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this is the thing.
No,
that we
she might have
said.
killed. She might have
You know,
killed
she
him.
might have killed.
Yeah.
Well, my father. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
my father. You know, anybody that knew him, he would have not lasted with this thing.
Yeah.
But but you have to. You know, I mean, it's tough and tough on my in-laws. You know, they're elderly. I mean, they read the paper, they watch TV.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't easy, and the good thing is it's over now.
Do you worry? Do you worry?
Do they
that
listen
they're-
to the radio as well? I just want to throw that in.
Do you worry though that
when I'm on,
the problem with accusations like these is that unfortunately there will be people out there that say, I think it happened. I do think. And does that bother you?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Because look, I've you know, one of the things I said, I don't know if I got it out last night as much as I wanted to, but I'm proud of what I've accomplished. I don't say that all the time because you know, people think oh, you're bragging or whatever. My wife always says sometimes you got to talk more about what you do. But the other thing is, look, I'm not perfect. Nobody is. I mean, there's one guy and he's on the cross, but I mean,
Right.
I've given a lot to the community and done a lot for different causes and friends, and I have a great family and friends, and to walk into a store and see people, or outside of the realm, to go to church on Sunday and people look at you and go, well, maybe it did, maybe he's not what It isn't unless you've had, some of that, and look, people have mistakes and some show up and some don't, but you just have to, move forward.
And once that stuff is out, it's like the guy who's been charged with in a family court case that's been charged with pedophilia or something like that. I mean, once that's out there,
it is.
You can't erase it. How do you erase that?
It goes back to I remember I think it was in the Reagan administration, the one the guy that I'm going to get the name wrong, but I know that I thought the last name was Donovan. I think he was going for one of the cabinet posts, and he went through and they hit him with all kinds of allegations, which were completely then proven or false and proven. And his statement when he went to Congress was, okay, just tell me, where do I go and get my name back?
Yeah, where do you get your name back?
Where do I get my good name
That's
back?
a great point.
After that,
Kavanaugh. Look at what Kavanaugh. Well, all these other cases that people go through.
Sure.
Once it's out there, where do you get your name back?
Yeah.
Yes.
I got a text here this morning, and it is from the former Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. It was about what the county executive just said about who might have been behind or supporting Dave Gordon. Claudia Tenney texting in this morning. She says, more smears, LOL, weak leadership. I had nothing to do with Dave Gordon's campaign. Give it a rest. And I asked, because this is something that goes back a couple years.
Yeah. Could you, by the way, thank her for listening? I'm glad to see she's out there. That's very nice.
There were a couple times where I read texts, and I guess maybe they weren't intended to be on the air, so I asked for a clarification. Would you like me to share that? And she said, yes. Go ahead. For once, tell the truth. I'm not even listening. Others are texting.
Oh, right.
Ding, 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 ding.
Right. Trust me, I know Claudia. Others don't have a chance to text you because there's so many coming inbound. You can't get any out. That's just my experience. Mike Hennessy is on the line. Do you want to? I'd like to congratulate you.
He wants to congratulate you?
Yes, he does.
Sure.
That's what I have here.
Sure.
Mike Hennessy, who will be on the ballot as a Democrat coming up in the fall. Mike Hennessy, good morning. You are on with County Executive Tony Picente.
Good morning, Bill. I just wanted to call and congratulate Tony on his victory. And I look forward to a spirited debate this fall in the November election. And hopefully we can keep this to the issues and not get into any name-calling or false accusations and whatever. So, Tony, congratulations on your victory and have a nice day.
Thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate that.
And let's hope that it is about the issues.
Yeah,
let's hope that it's civil. And it's
I
not
did say that again last night. We've been saying all along, this is not what it was supposed to be. And unfortunately, but these people like this get into politics, and that's why good people don't get into politics as much anymore because of what gets spewed. That's that's vile and untruth. But
what did you call it last night? And this is not. I don't believe this is a name calling. I think you were literally describing. Did you describe him as he was weird? There was something weird about. Strange about Dave Gordon.
Yeah, there was. I mean, because it's really. I mean, he in moments of, I don't even want to say lucidity, but it's almost like I was running against somebody who was he was like, and then watching him like an expert on things who had never won a race, or one race. I shouldn't say that he won one, for 2 years, but it was a kind of a surreal thing because you never knew what he was going to say.
Yeah,
I mean, you never knew, and still don't. I mean, but it was like, and we ran into him once on election day, and I mean, we didn't engage in anything because I wouldn't, and but it was strange.
You didn't cold cock him?
No.
Okay,
didn't.
Just checking.
You didn't take him behind the woodshed.
I said all along.
I almost got arrested over that comment.
It wasn't me that I was so much worried about. Was my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Congratulate her on her retirement. By the way.
Yes.
I will.
Wayne is going to
and
get
yep. Well, but yeah, the personal stuff got crazy right up to I mean the just everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Wayne is going to get the final say. A caller here this morning. Wayne, you're on the radio with County Executive Tony Picente.
Hey, guys, how you doing? I just wanted to let you know I'm a Republican, and because of the way Gordon went about his campaigning, I sided with you, just so you know that.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Would you have opposed otherwise?
Would I have what?
Would you have opposed him otherwise? Are there issues that you're against?
I'm against him acting the way that, Gordon acting the way that he did, because he come across like a big baby and he got personal, and I just didn't like, I don't like when he, did the whole smear campaign, and I didn't like that. And I kind of like where you're going with your agenda.
With your policy and agenda.
Thank you
okay.
very much.
All right, Wayne, thanks.
Thank you.
Wayne gets to file because he voted. Sure. That's a good. I was a little worried when I walked into the polling place yesterday where I vote, and they only had 18 people up to that point at like 5:30. So turnout was, but it's tough. There was such confusion around this primary.
Well, you look at the turnout, especially even in the Utica mayor race. I mean, and I think we hit the numbers on the head, James. And in my in my office, we did we'd assumed that we were right around the 6,000 plus mark in the county, and I think 3,000 around the city. I know there's absentees out. I know there's some other things that got to get squared away. But that's the unfortunate thing. But then I looked at we looked at the conservative primary, which I won, which the turnout in that was for the conservatives for the low number was much higher, which was really, really interesting. So but in terms of Republicans and Democrats, the primary. And it's hard to say whether it was about the June date because primaries are traditionally low turnout anyway. But when you look at the number of Republicans in this county and the number that went out yesterday, it's I don't know. I don't think it hit 15%.
Yeah. Let's hope that this is our new low, this campaign that we've just come off, and that it is not signaling the new standard. It's just something we can look back on and say we're done with this. We're not going to let this happen again.
There's, unfortunately, I mean, you hope that, but somebody always comes out, whatever, with some kind of wild accusation or, on someone's either ethnicity or religion or preference or whatever.
Who knows?
Who knows what that is? But hopefully, we can stop. The good thing is today we stop talking about him and move on and just go. I mean, it's not that we're Somebody said, you're going back to work. No, we've been working all the time. We never stop. And we got a lot to do. We got Nexus to build. We got, some other pieces that got to get done, and the hospital and a whole lot of other things that got to get done here.
Congratulations on a convincing victory.
Thank you very much. Right. I appreciate it. Thanks.
And for the person out there, please text Claudia. I said good morning, if you would, because she's not listening now. So text her if you would. Let her know I said, hey, good morning. How you doing?